And joining me in studio today, all the way from Boston, is Annie Robbie Bernard, the co-founder and CTO at Soul Clarity. As a co-founder and CTO of Soul Clarity, Annie has successfully led the commercialization of cutting-edge clean energy technologies, securing more than $1.2 million in funding through grants and investments. She has built strong partnerships with industry leaders, managed multi-regional projects, and driven market adaptation of renewable energy solutions. Her journey also includes roles as a research analyst at Wood Mackenzie and a researcher at Boston University, contributing to market insights and material innovations. And welcome to us. So nice to have you on board.
Thank you so much, Bash, for the intro. This is an amazing opportunity for me to voice out as a female founder about what is driving me and how we should be there to support each other. So, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I can't wait to begin.
Excellent. And let's dive right in. Can you start explaining to the audience here what is it that Soul Clarity delivers and focuses on?
Got it. So, solar installations around the world are mostly located in dry desert regions simply because there's so much sunlight and very little clouds passing over. So, these solar installations are also unavoidably faced with what is called sandstorms, where a wave of dust just settles upon them, and so they're not able to produce much electricity after that. What happens today is people go in to these desert harsh environments with water trucks and manual labor to clean these panels. Another advancement has been using robots, just like imagine your Roomba going over solar panels to clean them. But what Soul Clarity does is we apply a retrofit screen, which can also be a part of the solar panel itself, and we're able to just charge the dust and take it off the solar panels. So you don't need water, you don't need people having to work in these harsh environments, and you don't need to install robots for each and every solar array. So we are a water-free, self-cleaning technology for solar panels. So we can save all the water that is used and also increase the production of electricity from clean, green sources.
Excellent. And having driven through various different areas in the Arab region and experiencing sandstorms and the issue of all of that sand dust placed everywhere like glue. I mean, that's such a breakthrough solution for thinking just outside the box and applying a new solution to an existing really good solution of solar energy production. And I'm so curious to hear, because of course now you are young, you guys are still early in the development of the company. But if you look into the future, say that years from now you are well into retirement, if you achieved with Soul Clarity what you wanted, how do you see your vision and commitment for the future? And which footprint is it that specifically you hope to leave behind building your organization? And what are the key contributions that you have been part of delivering to the world?
Got it. Okay, that was a very rosy picture in my head to see the impact that I started on being achieved. What it would mean for the world is to encourage the the production of solar energy. Uh, I mean, the sun is never going to be not shining. So we literally have so much free energy pouring down on us every day. And to utilize this in a clean, green way and then power homes, power schools, power hospitals, it's just the future we're capable of doing as humans with advanced intelligence. And we just need the resilience and push forward for that future to be achieved. So, the impact that I would want to really leave behind is the promotion of clean and green energy while not wasting resources such as water. Now, imagine if an interesting fact is that if we were to apply the EDS on every single solar panel in the world today, we will be saving around 4 billion or like 4 million liter gallons of water every single year. And in perspective, that is the amount of water it takes for the entire population of Mali to drink in a year. So much water is being just used for cleaning. I want to leave the impact that this water is redirected to agriculture, to survival, to better sanitation. It's a big fold. It's not just promoting clean energy, but also to be saving that water and for people to use it. That
I
would be
think
the impact.
it's a great example of the triple bottom focus we have. And I also learned recently I attended Al Gore's climate reality leadership training a while back, that not only is there larger renewable energy production today in oil states like Texas, but there is also a kind of a hidden truth that that renewable energy production accounts for 3 times more jobs than the job creation in the old dirty energy industries. And of course, what we see in like these regions that are suffering a lot from global warming and climate change is, of course, also that what clean energy can really help on is to democratize the access to affordable and clean energy. I mean, kind of weaning us off the big oil producing states and their power. So I'm also very, very curious to hear a little bit like from your personal side. I mean, obviously you're very committed and engaged. And can you say something about kind of your own purpose and drive? What was it that initiated your own personal commitment and this journey to become an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So, look in retrospect, looking back, my interest in solar really had to begin with the humanitarian impact it was creating in my own country, in India. There's a state called Rajasthan where there's enormous desert region, so you have a lot of solar development happening there. And it also is one of the hottest regions in India. So, having gone there for a project to view solar, I saw a lot of water trucks being They were transporting water and people to clean these solar installations in the state. Whereas on the other side of the road, I saw women and children with pans and buckets and pots just to carry portable water from a river source. So, side by side, I was able to see what water can be used for and what water was being used for. And it was the status quo. People are cleaning solar panels like this, and you cannot stop cleaning solar panels. So, there has to be a more innovative, sustainable way for people to encourage this energy production while still serving its population as a country. And when I looked around, there were robots being developed, there were anti soiling coatings being developed, but no one was really addressing the water issue. And there was one lab in Boston University when I searched that was particularly addressing the water that was being wasted in this or used for solar cleaning. And so I joined the lab as a researcher, and just the my professor's vision and drive, Professor Malay Mazumdar, and his belief that clean energy can actually shape the world, and through science and technology you can actually make a change in this world, drove me and instilled that passion in me to bring about this change that can be happening. So the EDS that Soul Clarity is commercializing was my PhD thesis, and I spun that out of Boston University into Soul Clarity for a startup.
Amazing and so inspiring, because I feel sometimes it seems to younger girls or women that are working in, you know, as employees in different organizations, that you need to be some kind of superwoman and have everything sorted to become a founder, right? Whereas I feel that a lot of time is basically there is a purpose drive that makes women go off and found companies, because it's just no other option than just try.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And I mean, starting this out from the university environment and everything, can you share with us a bit about what has been like the biggest challenges or surprises or even the coolest achievements over the years since you started this journey?
My biggest shock, I'd begin with that which drove me to push further into entrepreneurship, is that not everyone agrees with you. You can have the coolest idea, the greatest technology, the best solution there is, but you should know how to bring it to the common people, which is the final goal of anything that you started, right? But in the journey of bringing it to the common people, you have to face a lot of people to approve that. And in both a good way and a bad way, that journey of being said no to impacted me a lot, because it's the reason behind the no. Either it gave me growth or it gave me a chance to change my mindset and still fight. Um, so that really pushed my journey more forward. And the coolest achievement, I think, driven strongly by that, was when in 2023 December, when Soul Clarity launched our first pilot in Massachusetts. It was yeah, it became news. It was then discovered that this is the largest installation of this technology in the world till date, and we didn't know we were doing that. So just to push the technology forward, you just achieve something in in parallel is what happened, and that was a good thing to learn. And I don't know, it's also the people that I get to learn with and build the company with. I've had amazing opportunities to encourage women as interns to join the lab work, get to know a lot of, say, right from grant writing to marketing to actual engineering. So Clarity has had the opportunity to encourage more women in the space of electrical engineering, which is very sparsely populated at the moment with women.
Absolutely.
So these are all achievements that I'm really, I didn't set out to do any of this, but all I wanted is for this product to reach market. But in the journey, there's just so much winning that happens, which will keep driving me to be an entrepreneur.
Amazing. And it's so inspiring to hear it because I can hear and see that this is so deeply rooted in you, right? And then I wanted to hear, because of course, we all face a lot of, pushbacks and you have to really work hard. And I mean, it can really fuel enthusiasm, but it can also discourage us at times when
Yes.
it's too hard. So all of us, we are so depending on some champions and door openers when we start out and during that journey. And I would like to hear from you, in your journey, which supporters is it that you have had in your life and in your work that have paid it forward to you from the earlier days, enabling you to get to where you are today? That could be customers, partners. Who is it that helped open these very critical first doors for you?
I would have to thank and take this moment to be grateful to Boston University, because they have what is called an Office of Technology Development, which encourages young entrepreneurs to push their findings from the lab to market. And in this pursuit, they have a lean launch program which they formalized to help academics learn what it is to sell their product. And so the Boston University Office of Technology Development gave us our first 50,000 in funding and helped us get into an accelerator called the Clean Tech Open, which then opened doors for us to connect with more entrepreneurs, first time people who have great ideas. The talent pool was unbelievable. And to help us get in touch with manufacturers or other grant or funding agencies, it was BU that gave me this first door and then led me to other accelerators who did the same for me. And as people, definitely my entire lab and workforce at Soul Clarity, and also our mentors, Professor Mark Hornstein, Professor Mazumdar, they were my principal investigators at Boston University who came in as advisors. So the knowledge, the wealth of knowledge I have through all these people, I couldn't have gathered it by myself. So these were definitely the doors that showed us where other pathways were.
Oh, no, those are so crucial. And then I wonder, now where you are today, you have come such a long way. You have such amazing technology and solutions to bring out to the world. What do you need today to scale and grow for your next stage? Can you share the ideal type of, new customers, partners, actors that you're seeking to team up with, and hopefully that we can support you opening some doors too?
Thank you so much for that question. Recently, I was at the Middle East Energy Expo in Dubai. I went there thinking that I needed investors, that I needed partners to manufacture and scale this technology up. But the revelation that I had there was that I am currently more seeking people to take on this technology and make it their own. Why I say that is that I can make as many of these prototypes or products as possible, but unless, say, a solar panel manufacturer takes on this technology and starts printing them by the millions and distributing them all over the world, the impact of saving water or making full use of solar energy cannot be achieved. I want to sell I don't want to sell toothpaste. I want to sell the idea of brushing. So it's not just my product that matters. It is the change of mindset that we shouldn't be using this water. When we can be using just the panel itself, that I want to bring about. So for that, I am conversations with solar panel manufacturers, solar glass manufacturers, or even government funding agencies in our target market, say in the Middle East, in India, in Africa, just to learn and see how we can bring our product to where it's needed the most. That's the kind of collaboration I'm hoping to get.
Oh, I really hope that we can also be part of getting the message out there and power couple you with some of those that you need to find. And then I wonder also, and it's a very open question, so feel free to answer it as what feels comfortable for you. But are there any key challenges that you are facing right now where you think that Tool and our global network and audience of women supporting actors around the world could play a role and help support your journey?
That this podcast by itself is great exposure. It'll help bring my story to people and to women who know the power of support and mutual encouragement. So thank you for this opportunity again. And as usual, as is with every startup, money is always in need. So funding opportunities and partnerships, as I mentioned, with panel manufacturers. So through this podcast, if I'm able to get in touch with any of these sectors of people who can help bring this product to market, that will be fantastic.
Excellent. So, this is a challenge for all of you out there who are viewing and listening to this podcast. I really hope that we can make part of this journey happen as our global sisterhood. And then I wonder, because you're already, very open, we believe very strongly that true strength is built through openness and sharing our vulnerabilities, not to try to fit into that superwoman kind of cliche, but actually being ourselves and seeing those personal, individual uniqueness and strengths as our superpowers. And do you have the opportunity to share one of your own challenges in your life that you have worked to overcome and share with us some of the life hacks or advice that you've gathered on that path that you would want to share with other founders and women out there to inspire their journeys?
A challenge? So, great question. Um, I think a lot of founders who I've met have a lot of ideas that they want to execute, but they also, in my case, I suffer from procrastination. Um, I write these ideas down, but for me to tick them off, the anxiety to start it brings about an inertia, but the inertia itself feeds the anxiety. So, in order to get out of this cycle, which I think a lot of co founders face, I think it's just to breathe. And like it might sound like a simple solution, but if you can analyze, look at the thought or procrastination as just an emotion while you're breathing and really let it wash over you, it helps me come out of feeling bad for procrastinating and just start doing that what I'm supposed to do. And I will encourage, especially women, to start with their weightlifting journey. It brings so much of a mental resilience that I have directly applied that into running my company, or pushing forward with difficult conversations. It just gives me that strength to know that I am doing something so personal for myself, which will reflect in my work. So self care is definitely important. And every other challenge, I think, especially as women, we are programmed to overcome. We just need the time and encouragement. And breathing and lifting weights has definitely done that for me.
Excellent. Those are super tips. And I think there's so many out there that can resonate with the whole procrastination issue, myself included. And I've felt sometimes in conversation with other female founders also that tied into that procrastination is also sometimes that fear of not being good enough. That kind of, the sort of you have huge plans ahead, but still you have that essence of self-doubt that I think is also quite a lot programmed in, um, and some spicy touch of like an imposter syndrome somehow,
Oh, yes.
which I think it's so interesting to see that we find this in the strongest, bravest, most amazing female founders still are struggling with those same very, very basic issues.
That's actually very true. Not recently, in the last 2 years, I've gotten to meet a couple of female founders who are superstars in what they're doing. But when we personally network or talk, they also have similar issues about, am I doing good enough? Am I really, when will people find out that I'm going to fail or what I've been saying is not entirely true? And these are not I think these are doubts, especially as women, we have because we're not used to seeing too many names of women as achievers. Like, it's, it also feeds into the cycle that we do not get to employ ourselves, or we find ourselves being employed in fields that are more comfortable, where you see more women, rather than in fields where you're afraid to be one of the very few women. And that I think is changing, which is great. I see a lot of women participation in the STEM fields, where previously it was very dominated by men. And it's not even a fight anymore. It's also the encouragement from the male population that helps us also think that we can do this. So the imposter syndrome, I don't think I ever had it. Maybe I had the opposite of thinking that whatever I touch will turn into gold. I just had so much overconfidence. But I later found out it is called extreme optimism. I just couldn't think that something that I believe in cannot be achieved if I didn't put in the right amount of work. But it was, in fact, my male colleagues, my co founders, who brought in that realism in me. So I was an optimist and now I'm a realist, and the difference is that there's experience. So,
Absolutely.
so yes, it's definitely a group collective for women to realize that we can do it. It's okay if the field is not populated by our predecessors, that's fine. and the men are there to help you. You just have to trust them enough to be open about your shortcomings so that they can help you.
Absolutely. And and so now we've covered kind of your needs and experiences, and I like to think of all of us as resources. And as founders, we need a lot of resources, but we also, every step of the way, we represent resources to others. So can you share with me in a paying it forward context, which type of resources and or how can you represent support towards other entrepreneurs that are within the value chain or working with relevant solutions tied to your operations?
Got it. As a person with my own abilities, I would love to participate or even be on advisory boards, be on technical advisory mostly, or like even with contacts. I happen to have the knack to make and keep contacts. So if anyone is looking in the solar space to being connected to people they're looking to work with, I can be of help. As Soul Clarity, we're here to help in terms of research experience or experience of being in a startup, what it is to work in a fast-paced environment. Um, and yeah, I can do a lot of peer reviewing also. So that's all I can offer. And even to talk, even to be here and just discuss what it is to have this journey, I'm very happy to do that as well.
That is super valuable, and thank you so much for opening that part up. And then I wonder, because I mean, all through my years, now almost 20 years working on impact and clean transition, inspiration, role models, those champions have always been so critical for really, those that you really look up to and admire. And which specific female founder or owner is it that you would like to have featured and learn more from on the Wave Maker podcast onwards?
There is Diana Ahmed. They are from Chicago. They're a startup called The One, or The Next One. They're a battery company, and they're doing so well. I'm so happy for them. And I know she's a mother. I met her in person just briefly, and I was so inspired by how much responsibility, juggling, and managing she's doing on all fronts, and being so good at everything she does. So to hear more from her about her journey, I think will be very inspiring for a lot of female founders, myself included. So definitely Diana Ahmed.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We will reach out to her and hoping that she will join us as well. Then lastly, then we're looking at kind of top role models, then bringing it back down to kind of the seeds for the future. As we wish to open up the space in our industries for more talents to come in, I also wanted to hear, as my last question to you, looking at generic key skills, capabilities, personal traits, what do you consider from the solar side and the clean energy sector? What do you consider to be really critical key skills and capabilities for other young people that are entering our sectors? And do you have any great advice for young talents listening in today who wants to come on board the clean transition journey?
Okay, entrepreneurship, especially in solar hardware, comes from a lot of thinking by and with oneself. And I don't want to, I think I'm going to sound very old beyond my age when I say this, but constantly being on the phone does not let us do that. So actually, I find myself like I get a lot of complaints from my parents saying you don't pick up your phone, or people asking me where I am because I'm not texting back. That's because I find myself being without my phone and thinking about real problems, thinking about what problems I'm facing, say as a company or like as a subject. And this really isn't the luxury that a lot of us are getting right now. We're constantly engaging with the phone because of something important, definitely. But it is also very important for entrepreneurs, especially, to sit down and think just for themselves. You and your whiteboard, you and your paper. Just think,
So
actually think.
deep focus and long concentration periods.
Yeah, because you're going to need that amount of focus when it comes to working for your startup. It's super tough, and as you would know, it takes every little cell in your body to go and contribute towards what you're doing in a startup. So for that to happen, you cannot afford to, or you should practice not being distracted, at least for some time during the day.
That is excellent advice. So I hope everybody who's listening in, following this podcast, really brings this home with them. And then I wanted to just wrap up and thank you so much for joining us today. I really think you have an incredible journey that you are on, and I look forward to following it onwards. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to Tool for highlighting my journey. And thank you, Bridget. Those were questions I need to ask myself on a daily basis to grow both as a person and as a company. So thank you so much for those insightful questions. And
Absolutely. And I look forward to bringing out more of the women founder voices this year ahead. So, to all of you who are following us, we are coming back with another episode from a different region. And stay tuned. Feel free to also share advice or input on who you want to hear more from. So, thank you.
thank you.